Hello everyone and welcome back to another Essential Album video. We're now on week 5. This week we're taking a look at Nothing Shocking by Jane's Addiction. First released August 23rd, 1988. Some notable tracks on this album include Up the Beach, Mountain Song, Jane Says, and Standing in the Shower Thinking. Um, Basically their studio debut. Excellent album. I had to edit the cover there, as you can see right over there. Had to kind of censor that a bit. But I own this album on vinyl. Don't really want to pull it out though, because I would have to cover it all weird and stuff like that. But it's an excellent kind of debut. I think they had a live album right before this, like a year before, just called Jane's Addiction. But this was their first kind of their major studio debut. They followed this one up with, I think, Ritual de la Habitual, which I covered on the 1990 series, because that came out 2 years after this. I think I like that album just a little bit more than Nothing Shocking, but I listened to Nothing Shocking just again yesterday, and it's still an excellent album. Just very great, just grungy rock, not quite grunge, but more rock alternative, very kind of California kind of vibes from the entire album. Same thing with their second one. But we're going to get to our notes here. We're going to get through like the track list, the reviews, and all that as well. And some other stuff about the album. We just pull this open here. There we go. So Nothing Shocking, like we said, August 23rd, 1988. This is their debut studio album. Apparently when they got signed by Warner Brothers, they gave them a list of producers that Warner Brothers wanted them to pick from. Perry Farrell went through and ended up picking Dave Jerden. So that was the producer that they ended up going with. Upon getting signed, Perry Farrell wanted a 50% cut of the royalties, as well as another quarter of the final, like 50% and a quarter of the another quarter of the half. So basically another 12.5%, bringing his total up to 62.5%, which I think is kind of not great for obviously the other three members of the band, Stephen Perkins, Dave Navarro, and Eric Avery. And apparently this caused a huge rift within the band. Like basically this band has had issues almost like since day one between various members. Very recently, I think like last September, they were on tour. The rest of the tour got canceled due to Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro getting into an altercation on stage. I think it was just during, forget what song it was during, but I think basically Perry Farrell missed like a whole like section of vocals. So Dave Navarro was trying to get it back on track. He's like, "Hey, I'll do the solo again, and then like do your bit." There's excellent breakdown videos about the whole situation. I'll try to link them in the description if I can find them. But when that whole thing happened, I felt really bad for all the other three members of the band aside from Perry Farrell, because Eric Avery kind of left touring with Garbage to get back with Jane's Addiction. Dave Navarro was kind of had been back with them for a while, but when they were touring, I think it was 2022 maybe, because I saw them back when they were opening for the Smashing Pumpkins a few years ago, and Dave Navarro was not on that tour. I think he was still sick. So, but then he got better, was able to tour with them, and I just feel really bad for them because especially Eric Avery and Dave Navarro worked really hard to kind of get the original lineup back together, and then it kind of all just self-destructed due to Perry Farrell's ego, basically. Again, I wasn't there, but I saw the clips of what happened and watched some of the breakdown videos. So overall, felt bad about what happened because I was definitely considering going to that tour. I ended up not getting tickets to it because I had seen them like a couple years before that. But then basically every show, because I think that happened in Boston, every show after that date was just canceled. The rest of the tour was canceled too. So basically they got the band back together and then it immediately fell apart again. or not immediately, but like basically when they were touring with the full lineup, the original lineup, it then kind of just exploded. But let's see here. Um, so there was a part where I think Dave Jordan was driving up to the studio, according to my research on this. The band was kind of leaving, and Perry Farrell had basically said that the band had broken up due to kind of the royalties issues with the other members of the band, basically only each getting like something like 12% of the royalties or something like that. Warner Brothers had to call an emergency meeting to kind of solve it, and Perry Farrell ended up getting the percentage that he wanted, which ended up being about 62.5%, which I think is kind of nuts for. I mean, he is the front man, so you kind of have to maybe give him a little bit more, but I think that's kind of ridiculous. But this basically, like again, caused a rift within the band, like immediately. And for years before Eric Avery rejoined the band, there was constant like bickering between him and Perry Farrell. I remember like there was like a bunch of like articles where Perry Farrell was calling out Eric Avery and so on. So wasn't pretty. There was an interesting quote from Dave Navarro about the writing process for this. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Pull this up. And it was kind of like how basically how they went from this songwriting process from song to song. So this is quoted by Dave Navarro. So he says, quote, some, basically this is the writing process, says, quote, some came from Eric's bass line, some from guitar, some came from Perry, some came from drum riffs, and some just came from free-form jams. There was really no formula. And then Eric Avery said, basically helped write the bass line for like Mountain Song. Mountain Song has just an incredible bass line. Like I think it's probably one of my favorite Eric Avery bass lines is just the bono 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 bono, however you want to do it from Mountain Song. Just an excellent bass line. And I'm a huge fan of Eric Avery just because I've seen him with Garbage. I think he didn't tour the last time I saw him, but I saw him in 2012 with them, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2022. So 7 out of the 8 times I've seen Garbage, he was their bassist. I think on the most recent, last time I saw Garbage was 2023. It was cool though because Daniel Shulin was there, the original touring bassist for Garbage, and he came back for that. But Eric Avery is just an incredible bassist. And he's done some solo stuff as well. So, but that was a kind of the quote about like the writing process. Let's get into some reviews here for this album. There we go. So it came out to very good reviews overall. AllMusic has it at a 5 out of 5. Kerrang also a 5 out of 5. A 3.5 out of 4 from the LA Times. NME has it at a 7 out of 10. Philadelphia Inquirer has it at a 4 out of 4. Pitchfork has it at a 9.3 out of 10. Q has it at a 4 out of 5. Rolling Stone, 4 out of 5. Rolling Stone Album Guide looks like a 4.5 out of 5. And the Village Voice has it at a B-. And the album isn't incredibly long. Comes in about 45 minutes. We're going to get to our track list now. So let's see what we got here. 11 tracks for about 45, like I said, 45 minutes in length. Track 1 is Up the Beach. Kind of just a very kind of vibed out track. Not really rock really, but it's more kind of just soft and kind of chilled out. Track 2 gets a little bit heavier with Ocean Size. Track 3 is Had a Dad. Track 4 is Ted, Just Admit It. Track 5 is Standing in the Shower Thinking, one of my favorite tracks on the album as well. Track 6 is Summertime Rolls. Track 7 is Mountain Song. That's a classic. Like I said just a little bit ago, the bass line from Eric Avery on that song is just excellent. Track 8 is Idiot's Rule. Track 9 is Jane Says, probably the most well-known song on the album, and definitely one of their most well-known songs overall. Track 10 is Thank You Boys, and I think if you had the vinyl edition, that's where it ended. Track 11 has Pigs and Zen, which was not included on the vinyl. So 11 tracks, depending on what version you're listening to. 10 or 11 if you're listening. 10 if you're listening to the vinyl, 11 if you're listening to it like CD or digital. But apparently, I think, was it Mountain Song and Jane Says maybe? There's a couple songs that were, um, I think Mountain Song was on the soundtrack to a movie and they re recorded it. And then there was another song that got re recorded as well. Let me actually just make sure that was actually Mountain Song. Yeah, so Mountain Song was originally on the soundtrack to a film called Dudes. Never heard of that movie before. And then Jane Says and Pigs and Zen were on their self-titled debut, which is not really a studio album. It was a live album. I think they recorded it at the Roxy Theater in LA in 1987, or maybe it was 1986. And it was a 1987 release. Recorded it in 1987 as well. So a couple tracks appeared on that album and then got re-recorded and redone for the studio album debut, which was Nothing Shocking. So yeah, Nothing Shocking is just a very good first entry from them, or first studio entry. Even though I think Ritual de la Habitual, I think I like a little bit more. Because we see, goes Nothing Shocking, Ritual de la Habitual after that. And like I said, both these albums are excellent. I just like the second album, Ritual de la Habitual, just a little bit more. But that is going to do it for this album. We'll be back again in a week from now with a whole new album, or whole another essential album, a whole new one. Don't know exactly when that's going to be yet. And then we'll just be continuing these episodes always go up on Tuesdays. So basically every Tuesday until the end of the year, then we'll do our breakdown video like we did for the last year series. But again, that's going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.